Good afternoon, good day, good evening, good whatever it is. I have no idea. I've just had my lunch. Alright. And we all know that we should be having a certain amount of calories in our food. And calories is basically just the amount of energy that the food produces. Simple as that. And we're giving numbers, guidelines to what we should be eating. You know, they say 2,000 for a woman, 2,500 for a man. But it depends upon our age and our activity level. We know that over 60% of the calories that we consume, we burn without doing anything. And that's our basal metabolic rate. We know that a large percentage of the calories that we burn after that is classed as NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Ooh, yeah, that's where I went. Now that's around about 12%, right, which is a big chunk in the scheme of things. Now that's doing your day-to-day stuff, writing stuff down, hoovering, cleaning, cooking your food, just doing stuff in general. Anything that's not exercise related. The really worrying thing is, if we're looking at the breakdown, is that exercise thermogenesis is a very, very small percentage and probably equates to the same amount of energy that we burn while we're actually eating food, especially when we look at the amount of time that we exercise for. So we're not looking that exercise is going to help us burn a considerable amount of calories. Exercise is there to help us get healthy, to get strong, to get mobile, to be more active. That's what exercise is there for. What we're looking at the food side of it and the deficit side of calories is if we're looking to lose weight, and whatever the opposite of deficit is, because I've completely lost it at that point. When we're looking to gain it, all right, an increase in calories, okay, at that point. If we're looking to gain weight, if we're looking to increase our lean muscle mass. But then if we're looking at, which is what today is about, at our macros, all right, this is where people tend to get very scared and very confused. And realistically, I've got a bit of a headache, sorry about that. Realistically, macros is a simple breakdown of calories. We have three major macros, three major types of food sources. I have carbohydrates, all right, which everyone goes, ooh, carbohydrates, which is vegetables, pastas and rices and breads, flours, that type of stuff. And then we have fats. Everyone goes, ooh, or possibly not. Fats used to be demonized. You've still got trans fats, which are seen to be really bad, and I would equate to that. I'd agree with that. But then you've got other fats. You've got saturated and non-saturated fats, which computer just went down, and I need this in a second. And then you've got your proteins, yeah, your meat-based and vegetable-based proteins. No matter where you are on the fence about vegetables or protein, you're getting them from both sides of it. Now, when you have vegetable proteins, a large percentage of the vegetable proteins you're going to get carbohydrates from. Yeah. So I've just had an edamame, I think that's the word, stir fry with smoked salmon for my lunch. Very tasty. Smoked salmon give me protein, and it also give me fat. But I also got protein and carbohydrate from the stir fry because of the edamame beans in that. Yeah. So, a standard American diet called a SAD diet, all right, it's a standard what the world population tends to take in now, if you would believe the press. And I've got notes here to give you some indication. Moving away from the calorie side of it, the standard breakdown would be 20% of our diet 20 to 35% of our diet is around about fat. So that's 20 to 35% of whatever you're consuming. So if that's 2,000, I'll let you work out the maths at that point. 10 to 35% is protein, and 45 to 65 is carbohydrate. Massive amount of carbohydrates there. Not going to get into the discussion about if that's right or wrong, but that's what we're looking at. Now, if we were looking to, as far as I can find with the figures for a diet plan such as the Michael Mosley 800 and Fast, we're looking at a 40-20-40 breakdown. So that 40% of a diet of the 800 Fast is fat, 20% is protein, and 40% is carbohydrate. So it's not a great deal different to a standard American diet, but the reason why that works is because of the reduction in calories, the 800, and because of the fast element. So that's a fasting element that goes on within the actual eating side of it. And then we've got other things out there, which I should have said this at the start. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a trainer, coach, personal trainer, wellness expert, whatever that title is that you want to assign to me. That spent almost 25 years now helping people to get the best out of their health. And I've experimented with most of these things that come along, not only exercises but food side of it. So, and this side of it, the ketogenic, carnivore, low carbohydrates, is something that I've experimented with heavily over the past 5 years, especially carnivore over the past 6 months. So if we break down the macro side of it, you might find it useful. For simple ketogenic is a high fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate. You'd be looking at 60% of your diet would be fat. 35 would be protein, higher protein level than most of the others, and only 5% of it would be carbohydrates. Now this predominantly is where I will lie. I've just moved out of having a carnivore, which is 60% fat, up to 40% protein, and a trace of vegetables. So really a trace of carbohydrates. We have low carbohydrates, a low carbohydrate diet, which tends to be very fashionable at the moment. 55 to 75% would be fat, 15 to 30% would be protein, and 10 to 15% would be carbohydrate. There are other forms, so paleo, and then there's other different forms of ketogenic. All right. So it gives you a broad cross section of diets and macro breakdowns. Now, just lost the track of where I was going to go with that, but we might jump back to it. Now, most people who are tracking their food have it been advised. I advise all my clients to use MyFitnessPal or some form of diet tracking. All right. Now, because I'm using my phone to record this video, what I've got is I've pulled up on my laptop my breakdown, all right, and show you the place to go in to adjust your macros. All right. So really depends on what you're wanting to achieve. That's what I wanted to do. What you're wanting to achieve when you're looking at your diet. All right. Are you following a plan that you've been set, such as the Michael Mosley 800 and Fast? Are you adapting and making it more mainstream? What have you found out about your eating pattern that you find useful or not useful? And how do you want to adapt that? Now, what I wanted to touch upon is there's only two of the macros that the body actually needs, from what I can understand, to survive. And that's fats and protein. Carbohydrates are a macro that we can use and utilize within the system, but are not something that we actually need. Yeah, we can get all of our energy, all of our nutrients from other sources. Saying that, that's why there's a lot of low carbohydrate eating plans, diet plans out there. But when we're looking at taking that in, all right, we can change the the actual parameters of this on MyFitnessPal. Now, if we go to your fitness goals, I'm going to swing this around. I don't know if I can change the camera. No, I can't. So I'm going to turn that around. There we go. All right. So we're in my profile. Yeah. And I've found your fitness goals. And you can view this and adjust where you have all of the breakdown. Your total calories. So I've got that 2,400 calories roughly at the moment, 2,430 calories at the moment at the top. All right, and then I have my breakdowns of my macros, and you can put them in individually. You can put them down as a percentage or a number. If you have difficulties and you don't know how to work that out, please feel free, shout out, and I'll give you a hand on that one. A call to people who want it, so you can break it down to say how many carbohydrates you want into your meal, how many fats, and how much of the protein, and then that'll give you the total goal. Now, the good thing about MyFitnessPal is each meal that you put in, right, you don't need to put that in. You scan it, you write it in, whatever it may be. It'll deduct that and it'll tell you throughout the day how many calories and what your breakdown is that you've got left. So it'll work it out all for you once you put in the specifics. Don't ever be afraid of changing those parameters if it feels as if it's not working for you. It's something that I've played about with, and I've also got clients to play about with to find out what works for them. And this should be fluid, just like our exercise, just like our life. It should be fluid and it should be without judgment. All right, find out what's working for you. So I hope this is useful. This video is useful for you. If you'd like to know further about how to set up your macros for you, please feel free to reach out or look elsewhere, whichever it is. All right. So have a great day. Enjoy your lunch. Enjoy your evening meal. Keep active. Stay well. All right. I'll catch you all later. Bye now.